Tick, tock, tick, tock. The sound of a clock filled the room, steady, patient, almost hypnotic. A woman sat across from him, hands trembling, eyes red from crying. "I keep dreaming of that night," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I see him again, standing at the door." Dr. Satoru Hayashi leaned back in his chair, pen gliding across his notepad with the calm precision of a man who had seen this 1,000 times before. His office was warm, safe, and silent, the perfect place to confess your nightmares. But behind that silence, there was something else. A smile, faint and deliberate, curved on his lips as he looked up. "It's all right," he said softly. "You're remembering exactly what you need to." And as the woman sobbed harder somewhere inside, Dr. Satoru felt something he hadn't felt in years: satisfaction. Because he knew that pain. He knew exactly how to bring it back. "He promised to heal their pain," the narrator whispers, but he was the one who planted it there. Dr. Satoru Hayashi, age 41, was one of the most respected psychiatrists in Tokyo. His peers called him a visionary, a man who believed that true recovery could only come from authentic emotion. He had published books, given lectures, and built a reputation as the man who could cure the incurable. But no one ever asked how, because his methods were not written in medical journals. They were written in the quiet suffering of his patients. He believed empathy was not something learned, it was something earned through pain. "You cannot heal what you do not understand," he once told a student, "and you cannot understand suffering unless you have felt it yourself." So he created it. He began small, subtle manipulations, careful triggers, invisible adjustments to his patients' lives. A misplaced letter, a delayed message, a whisper through someone they trusted. He called it controlled exposure therapy. But in his private journal, it had another name: the empathy experiment. Because in the end, he wasn't trying to save his patients. He was trying to test how much pain the human soul could endure before it broke, and whether it could still call that breaking healing. Her name was Rina Akasaki, 27 years old, a quiet woman who smiled too easily, as if politeness could cover the cracks in her heart. She came to Dr. Satoru because of recurring panic attacks, vivid nightmares, and the feeling that someone was always watching her. He listened gently, nodding, writing, comforting. The perfect therapist. But after every session, when the lights went off, he would replay the recordings and take notes. Not on her progress, but on her breaking point. He began to interfere with her world in ways she couldn't trace. He sent her an anonymous letter. A single sentence written in red ink: "You forgot to lock the door again." He made sure she heard footsteps behind her when she walked home, arranging it through one of his assistants. And when she returned the next week, trembling and pale, he leaned forward with that same gentle tone. "Tell me, Rina, what did you feel when you heard them?" She hesitated, her voice shaking. "Afraid," she said, "like I was back there again." He smiled faintly. "Good," he whispered. "That's where we begin." In his notes, he wrote, "Fear reactivated. Response, authentic." And as she cried into her hands, he felt that quiet thrill again, that rush of control disguised as compassion. Because for Dr. Satoru Hayashi, therapy wasn't about healing pain. It was about creating it perfectly. Dr. Satoru's experiments grew more intricate, more deliberate, as if each human soul was a stringed instrument, waiting to be tuned by fear. He learned to play them perfectly. One patient lost her job because an anonymous report exposed a private mistake she never made. Another received an email from a dead relative, one that included the exact words she once whispered in therapy. He called it controlled reality distortion. His assistants called it insanity. But to him, it was progress. He charted their responses, the dilation of pupils, the tremor in their hands, the moment their defenses cracked. To the world, he was a healer. To himself, he was a creator. Each breakdown was a masterpiece, each relapse a confirmation of his theory. That empathy could not be taught. It had to be extracted, one wound at a time. And as his patients unraveled, Dr. Satoru began to feel something dangerous, something close to pride. He stopped calling them patients. He started calling them subjects, because in his mind, he wasn't running a clinic anymore. He was running a lab. Then came Kaito, a man in his early 30s, quiet, polite, almost eerily calm. He sat across from Satoru and said, "I'm not here because I'm sad. I'm here because I don't feel anything at all." Satoru was intrigued. Here was a blank canvas. No fear, no trauma, no weakness to exploit. He began testing him, softly at first. Fabricated phone calls, planted rumors, subtle paranoia. Nothing worked. Kaito would simply blink, look at him and say, "That doesn't bother me, doctor." The silence between them grew heavy, oppressive, as if the air itself was waiting for one of them to break. For the first time, Dr. Satoru couldn't read his subject. For the first time, he felt uncertain. And for a man who thrived on control, uncertainty was unbearable. He started thinking about Kaito after sessions ended, reviewing recordings, analyzing micro-expressions, searching for fear that wasn't there. And then, one night, he wrote something in his private notes, words that chilled even himself. "If he cannot feel trauma, I will give him one." The next week, Kaito arrived for his session at midnight, unannounced. Rain was falling outside, soft against the glass, while the fluorescent light flickered above them. He placed a small recorder on the table. Pressed play. From the speakers came Dr. Satoru's own voice, calm, professional, cruel. Fear reactivated, response authentic. Subject unaware of manipulation. Empathy extraction successful. Every word was his. Every secret laid bare. Kaito watched him quietly, expression unreadable. "I know everything," he said. "Every message, every lie, every nightmare you built." Satoru's hand trembled, the first real emotion he had shown in years. "You wanted to understand trauma, didn't you? Then tell me, doctor, how does it feel when it's finally yours?" The light flickered once more, and then the room went dark. A struggle, a single gasp, then silence. Morning light spilled into the office through half-closed blinds. The chair was still spinning slowly, creaking in the quiet. Dr. Satoru was gone. On his desk, his open notebook bled with ink, words scrawled in uneven lines. Empathy achieved. Across the room, on the mirror, faint scratches formed a pattern. 5 words carved by desperate hands. "Now you understand, doctor." The recorder kept playing in loops, his own voice blending with Kaito's, whispering over and over until it no longer mattered who said what. Pain connects us. Empathy connects us. We are the same.